until I found a place to park. And it did. So I think,
Well, this is giving the generic thing, it's not saying what a schedule for today is. Begins an hour and a half before the game time and runs 15 minutes past the start. And then the return shuttle is 7th inning until a half hour after.
yeah, that's the schedule they had before. Yeah. That sounds right.
Well, for all that I could see, it is running, but let me call them again and see if there's any. Recently, I called that number 3 times.
One more time ought to do it.
This is our schedule for May 1st. We have no public cruises scheduled as of May 1st. Now, I'm a little nervous about that. And if we go there, we find that it's not running, then we just have to miss a little bit of the pregame activity. I think that's what it comes down to, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
Just make a phone call here.
Somebody in my high school class just remembered me.
Yeah. It's this phone call. I shall return.
Well, this was the season.
You suggested a retreat in Bend.
Or somewhere.
You'd be better off with the airport, because it'd be closer to an airport.
There you go, that'd be great.
It is a 3.5-hour drive from Bend to Portland.
Okay. But it's a drive and not, a flight across the country.
Yeah, I don't think that would be too
I
far.
think they could do
I
that.
got some horse there.
They could get to Portland,
that?
I got some horse there.
wherever.
Right.
Driving 3 hours to Bend, from Bend to Portland is
Hold on.
less than
Brother
6 hours across the country.
Right.
Yeah, so it would still be a lot easier for them.
Plus the 3-hour drive to, but you're not thinking that's a good idea?
So
I'm gonna
change
stay
my
up.
life.
I don't know retreat centers in Portland, so I'm gonna have to ask about that, and Brother David King could probably help us with that.
There's a nice
Yes.
place in Lake Oswego, which is right outside of Portland.
Isn't that where Marty Hogan's place was? What am I thinking of?
OSP?
Is that where it is? Doesn't he have
No.
didn't he write part of his work out of the retreat center that's sort of buried?
Oh, yeah, they,
Oh, we do their,
begins with H.
yeah, we do their evening prayer.
Yeah.
Brother Brendan would know.
Oh,
Holden.
Holden
Holden,
evening
that's
prayer.
it.
That's it.
Holden evening prayer, we do regularly.
That makes me go to Catcher on the Rye.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Caulfield, no.
that's a whole nother thing.
The Methodists have a nice retreat place up there that Linda and I taught at. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Cooper? It may not be right.
Well, David King had mentioned one place to me at one point, And I said, well, I'd have to look into it. And I've been trying to look into a San Antonio place that Sister Celia knows.
I'm going to try to put a retreat together for the Order of Elders at the Oblate Center, so if I can find pricing information for the wheels, I'll send it to you directly.
Thank you.
They're lovely, they work with the RA conference all the time, and with the spiritual academies.
I don't want us to price everybody else out of feasibility.
No, that's totally fair, absolutely.
No, I understand that too.
Sitting there, and I thought,
And
But going to Scottsdale is
Right.
like that.
But going to Scottsdale here for a number of people who drive to get to it, so that made it more accessible.
But we really have to have a contingent from Washington and Oregon to actually,
Sounds like we might have a convention for Oregon.
Well, see, that's the thing, is to stay in conversation with Brother David and say, if we were to do this, how many butts in the seats could you guarantee?
Don't forget Texas, also.
Oh, no,
I was just saying, I was trying to get a hold of San Antonio.
Have you been to the Oblate Center in San Antonio?
Nope.
The Oblate Renewal Center? You should just go for fun. It's lovely.
Good place.
They have my favorite of the statues that they have there is a picnic table with Jesus, where you can really actually eat lunch. Students do all the
Can
time,
you do what I'm asking?
With Jesus?
with Jesus.
How does that work,
Statue of
statue
Jesus.
Oh, okay.
It's a picnic table, so it's out in the courtyard.
Yeah, I've heard of Elvis impersonators.
You can have lunch with Jesus.
Oh, I didn't write it
Imitators, of
down.
course, not impersonators.
I'd eat lunch with Elvis.
Write it down.
Dumb. I'll give you.
He left the building anyway.
At my,
See if it works.
my larger church's bake sale last year, Elvis made bank. I was, with the marquee sign up out of the road, pointing people in. I said, what'll catch people's attention on Saturday morning? Got my Elvis Halloween costume.
Yep, thank you.
Who went to right and left? Like, I don't really stop at churches, but I want to see what Elvis was doing.
Okay.
Made thousands.
That reminds me of my favorite Elvis trivia.
That's okay, I mean, that's spending $1,000 a month for
Elvis never won the Grammys in his lifetime. It's rock and roll music,
It's the gospel.
only for his gospel albums.
Yeah, it's just the area. It's the retreat center's internet.
Can I make an
There's nothing I
announcement?
can do about that.
I'm gonna make an announcement.
I feel like you
When I
should.
begin.
Thank you, thank you.
There's something you should do about it, brother.
Are you ready for me to do that? We're all having problems with the internet. And we have refreshed the router a couple of times now. It may be more a problem with bandwidth. And so the question is, if we can discipline ourselves, we're all busy on our computers doing things, little side things, or working up things for the order. But if we could discipline ourselves to do less of that, we might be able to get on when we need to. So, end of lecture.
Thank you.
We re-enter the agenda at report of the chaplain general.
Chaplains.
Yes, well, the agenda says chaplain general,
And-
but it is a dual role.
I gotta fix that.
Would you like to go first, my sister?
Sure, sure. You'll note, I didn't get something written into you all, and we haven't been able to do much online because of mostly the craziness that Sister Celia, I believe, introduced you to last night. But Ken and I have taken on 2 foster kids.
Congratulations.
And so that has factored into the time, both the preparation of getting them And now the actual having of them is factored into some of our difficulty in doing the things that we had planned. We did gather for Epiphany, and that went really, really, really well. My plan is, while I still have leave yet and things are calming, to plan to do an online gathering. My aim would be to start with once a month and pick some of the things like the lesser feasts and saints' days and those kinds of things that we could gather with. And then to ask either individuals or their chapter to take the leadership of that online. My one, I think, complication is communication. I don't know how to get that information out. Aside from like just making a post on Facebook, but if there's an email list or MailChimp or distribution that I can, you have something?
I have a membership list, if
Okay.
that'll help.
Okay,
Okay.
that would be good.
Another thing I think that's possible, correct me folks if I'm wrong, is Sister Magdalene Ruth has the list that she sends the font to, and she can do special mailings.
Okay,
And since it's electronic, I mean, she just blasts it out to
okay,
everybody.
so those would be two.
I have found that to be the really easy,
The
Best.
easiest, okay.
because she gets the updated list every time it gets updated, so you don't need to worry about whether you have the latest list.
I don't think of it because I still don't receive the font.
That's ridiculous.
I don't either.
I know, I'm not sure why, but, yeah.
She's not getting the font.
Your name is not on her
Oh, you're not
distribution
getting the
list,
font?
apparently.
I mean, I've tried to contact her.
Yeah, I'll take care of that.
about it, so I'm not sure.
It could be that you're totally on the distribution. I'm just saying, I work with MailChimp.
Yeah.
And I have the same issues people.
And
So
it just doesn't
I
appear.
made some people VIPs trying to really get them the
Right,
emails.
I know, so it could absolutely be a technical issue for sure. My plan would be to also include our two Philippines chapters in leadership and with a nod to the times that we have things as well, not a nod, but a full deferential bow, I suppose, to include them early and to make sure that we have representation from sort of our far-flung corners as well. I think for the first couple, I will talk with folks that are easier to, things that will be easy to schedule pretty quickly. But I want to quickly work in those that we might not see that often and allow us to be led by their worship and skills. If you have any suggestions, this is a new venture for all of us, and I do apologize that it's slow starting, but we're finally coming into our, I think we're coming into a little bit of a zone now where we know what's going on. It's been a while. Does anybody have any suggestions? Yes?
Council in the spring and retreat in the fall would be wonderful times to recruit practically the whole year, except that you might want to hold some back for people other than the people that come to those.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
You know, I imagine there are a fair number of us who would be very happy to volunteer.
And there were a
If we do
number,
what you needed.
yeah, and there were a number that did sign up on the whiteboard at the retreat, which I do have a photo of, and so I'll be getting to you all. Their thoughts?
Brother Joel Beng Beng in the Philippines, he's a really good liturgist.
Oh, okay.
Be a good person.
Which chapters?
He's in the, whatever the original one is, I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, the
He has
names
a
are,
big presence on Facebook.
okay.
Just really one thing. Occasionally my phone just starts typing whatever you were saying,
Oh,
Wow.
really?
but it really doesn't get it right.
Yeah, he's in the Philippines chapter, I believe, unless he
Yeah, he would be
switched.
in the Philippines.
He's in the
chapter.
original Philippines chapter.
If you have any other suggestions, my one last question was, do we as an order have a Zoom account? Thank you.
No.
No.
We don't, okay.
Yeah.
I have my paid account, which is not the premier, but it's a really high level one, and then I've got my one through SMU, which lets me do big webinars,
Oh, okay,
and they're both available for use as long
okay,
as-
oh, that'd be fantastic, okay.
Just let me know and I'll set them up.
That's easy because I do have a paid one, but it's been cutting me off at the 40-minute mark for our last couple of, and so I don't know why. I need to figure that out, so I wanna do something more,
Copious free time.
more reliable, yeah.
And I have a paid account.
Great, okay, thank you. Let's see, we also, my garage is the storage for our many accoutrements for our worship, and so we were able to get that, and Sister Celia and I plan to go through and really see if we can determine what we need to keep and what we don't need to keep. I did notice that some of our linens need to be laundered, and so I'm happy to do that. So I'll do that, separate those out at the end of our time together.
Which is a good place for me to dovetail in here. Yes, my intention is for us to go through everything we have here, catalog it, take pictures of it, decide if we want to live with it.
Good.
I've got that started. In addition to that holy hardware that we know about, I have been in touch with Brother Lewis Worthington. He has some holy hardware. I don't know what it is. And we have plans to get together. He's in Austin now. And so if we'd been able to reach just a few months ago, I would have been able to be in Austin to pick it up. But now I'm probably going to have to meet him in San Antonio. Anyway, try to figure this out. I think there has to be a better way for us to transport this than 3 suitcases, well, 2 suitcases and 1 broken plastic bin. So I'm going to figure that out in the holy hardware realm. And the rest of it is, I appreciate your grace as I am learning how to do this job.
We appreciate you.
Appreciate your grace and your patience with me.
Greatly appreciate it.
That's really all I have to report.
I suggested to Sister Celia that we needed a footlocker
Yeah, I think
kind of device that we would
Like
hold
harder.
things in.
Mm-hmm.
But harder, yeah.
Harder, yeah.
we have some stuff, I photographed some stuff today, I'm like, well, I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
I found a banner in there with like puffy art on it, I don't know what that's about, but
And there's a really large Bible that I've never seen us use ever.
Probably it's heavy too.
It's super big. Yeah. Yeah.
Look at the case,
do a-
light case that I have for the video here,
yeah,
and they come in.
that's what I'm thinking, it's gotta be
Is it
something
red?
that we can, so I'm gonna catalog everything, picture everything, take pictures of everything, and then I will probably may have something shipped to you and ask you to repack it for us. Since my feeling is, right, we shipped everything here because we knew we were gonna be here this year. And so since I don't live here, it's good for the holy hardware to exist near where we're going to be. If we're gonna go to Oregon, then probably, or not next, but in 2025 or later, then we'll ship it to me and I'll bring it with me, but we'll plan that out. We did spend a small fortune shipping it from Arizona here.
You should send me receipts for that.
Okay.
Yeah, and, you know,
If we're going to continue to be on our sort of basic pattern of 3 years here and a year someplace else, you may also want to say, we won't necessarily dispose of everything, but the traveling holy hardware could be a subset of the whole holy hardware.
That is true. We could have one container that's small, whether it's a suitcase or a box or whatever, that's
Right.
the essential.
The essential holy hardware.
Yeah.
There might be
Not
stuff of
shelves.
historical interest that we would want to keep, but you don't have to pay to ship it around.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm sure somebody's great Aunt Edna gave us some of that stuff, and for that, we should keep it and remind ourselves how holy it is, but.
Give it to Brother David Eichelberger for the archives or.
Yeah.
He is the holder of our hymnals, by the way, Brother David. I would like to get us to a paperless place. Our internet issues here are frustrating me such that I don't know how to do this in the fall. I think I'm gonna have to have this papery in the fall.
And I, for those of us who don't see well, we need paper.
This is right. This is, I've tried to say this. Yeah, this is,
I brought
Right.
some, they just got taken.
right.
also, you know, yes.
Right.
I probably asked this question before, and maybe I just don't remember the answer, but Sister Ann, I think, had, if she, maybe she doesn't now, some of long ago holy hardware, some of it, I think, valuable and worthy of our acquiring it. But I don't know if anyone has ever reached out to her to.
I did when I was tasked with that position, and she shipped me what she said she had, which was a very basic stuff that we started with. And then Fran Ballinger and I supplemented.
Okay.
Because Brother Lewis hadn't returned what we had. But those book covers and things of that nature, Sister Fran and we made a.
You made a catalog?
Yeah, which I guess has been lost in
Seems to be.
transit.
So
I
I
don't
exist in
know.
soft copies?
Yeah, no. You know.
Lewis had a great amount of that hit him at a bad time in his life
Exactly.
personally, and we never
Yeah,
retrieved it. So if we can, that would be very important.
yeah, I think
And I
that's.
think you'll find some duplicates, because we had to
Yeah.
replace them. Is that large Bible red by any chance?
Black.
Okay, there used to be a big red processional Bible that was kind of nice, but
Maybe that's what it's for, the big Bible.
Yeah, it's sort of an altar style, size
Yeah.
Bible.
This will be. Display, put on your altar table to sacrifice.
Yeah.
Well, this morning, I asked Sister Celia to read the scripture reading, and I was casting about for some Bible. I found a Jerusalem Bible that had the cover. It was a nice big book, but the back was falling off of it. And then I read the text, and it was not very inclusive, and I said, just read off your tablet or out of the paper thing. But Sister Jeanette will know that I really don't like that. I think there's something about a ceremonial book that's
Yes.
our
Yes.
shared book,
Yes.
and reading from that, even
Yes.
if we do have it on our.
You had
calendar.
requested that when you were at it, yes, so that's why we got them. It's also helpful too, to have, and I think we have one somewhere, to have the little, I don't know what it's called, but to prop up the communion liturgy or the liturgy.
The missal
Yeah, yeah, one of those. And I think there's one somewhere.
Well, there's one sitting back there, but I'm pretty sure that belongs to the center.
Oh, it does, but I
We
can
could totally
use it.
repurpose it for our.
Yeah, maybe one in your sacristy, because that's
It's
helpful.
adjusted for height too, because people's reading heights are different.
Well, and the way the light is in that chapel, it's, you know.
It was quite disco-y last night.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean
Light
the light?
coming on.
Well,
I appreciate that.
I almost did this.
Well, I didn't understand last night why it was coming on up at the altar off and on.
Well, I did start mid-service and go turn the lights on. It's like, it's awfully dark here.
It's that to indicate when the connection to the heavenly congregation was coming in and out.
That was when
Yeah.
Kind of had the Wi-Fi coming in and out.
Right, that's right.
joined us.
Yeah.
it's St. Luke's Illuminations.
Brother Mark, are you trying to get in the
You know,
conversation?
eventually, when it settles down here just a little bit.
Should I go first, or you want to go?
Well, I'll go now that,
You go.
I don't want to miss my chance. Sister Celia, I meant to ask you this question earlier, but are the prayers and readings, are they up there, or do we just need to use it out of the book?
You need to use them out of the book.
Brother Rusty had a medical incident while flying
Holy,
out
holy.
and ended up in the hospital rather than here. And I think he's had health problems
Remember that.
ever since then.
All right.
But he was an excellent assistant, yeah.
144.
And actually, there's a reference to it at the, in the text.
Well,
Other
I
conversations.
think his wife kind of put down you're not gonna travel anymore to the order. I think that's what happened with Brother Rusty.
Oh, really?
She just kind of said, nope, no more.
Geez, even Ron said he'd do his own foot this week. So,
People can grow.
Different strokes for different folks.
Right.
Anything else for our chaplains general?
just thank you.
Again, such appreciation for you both being willing to take this on. Brother Scott,
Website or Lotto?
You do all the W's.
website.
I know,
Lotto.
just kidding.
The website, we had the redesign, what was that, 2020, 2021? We're still on that, basically in maintenance and update mode. If you send me things that on the site that need to be updated, I update them usually in a few days. I get random requests for, can you put X, Y, or Z on the website? The answer is usually yes, but where? Some stuff, there's not a real convenient category for it. And if we just start throwing things higgledy-piggledy at it, then it turns into a.
That is our modus operandi,
It really is. So we need to, have some sort of structure for where to put things. Hosting on it, as I said earlier, is $12 a month, I think, and that comes out of mine, I just pay that. We've been able to cut back almost all of the old hosting arrangements, saving a huge amount of money. We can move the stuff off GoDaddy, the last of the domain hosting off GoDaddy, into Network Solutions, which would save us a little bit of money, but it's more work than it's worth at this point, I think. Yeah, I think the website's been going fine, haven't had any problems with it. Have y'all?
Just think of all the years that we complained about the website.
It's really nice.
Yeah, very nice
Very
to be able
nice.
to.
And you've even got the trademark on
Yes.
there already.
The day it came
The
in.
day it came in, I said, put it on there.
Scott is the man.
Yeah, it looks great. It's so easy to use and it's really great.
It's not embarrassing.
Yeah, it's slow. I don't like how slow it is, but I haven't had the time to devote to make it faster. One of the problems we had is we had the big reaffirmation button up there, and we were getting a lot of St. Luke the Physician people reaffirming. And we're like, who in the world is this and why?
Make them pay first.
As long as they were paying.
They were, and we were refunding
I
their
have to
money.
refund
Fun them.
Consider it a donation.
If you really love Luke.
Thank you for
Some
your.
have done that.
Oh, that's sweet.
They said, you were so nice to me, I've decided to let you keep the money.
Aw,
So.
That's nice.
that is
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
So we've taken that link off. You can still reaffirm, but I think what we'll do is we'll just post it in the Facebook group. It won't change year to year. It'll be the same link, but then you can just, So we get the forms for registration. Brother George sends those out. We make the tweaks that we need to the forms, put those out there. For those of you who have reaffirmed online, or for those of you who registered for this or last year's retreat, how did that go for you? Is everything working well?
Easy. Yeah, easy.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Any other feedback that I need to hear on?
Brother Dwight's the only one that I know of that's had trouble getting both he and Gail registered. We're not quite sure what that is, if that's a credit card issue or
One possibility is that it had her information in it, but my credit card for her to pay. My page went through. Her page
Okay. I'd have to see it to.
I can talk with you privately about this, but the glitch that I am noticing is that when I asked the retreat speaker to register, and I asked if anybody is gonna respond to the Hickman invitation, we need to not have them pay, and we either need a box where that's accepted, so that it skips the financial part, or whatever, but we can work on the details of that.
Yeah, so my suggestion is to do a paper form for them and just process them on the backside, just like we used to do in the olden days.
Okay,
I can buy the software or upgrade the software we have. We're using the free level now to support coupon codes, but it's like $1,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
And I went, no.
Wow.
I can do paper.
That's crazy.
We can do paper on those, right? It was
I do
some-
send them a paper form, so they can use that.
Just send them a paper form for the special cases like that. If we have more cases where we need to do special pricing for people, I can look and see what other options there are, but the one for Gravity Forms, which is the software we're using, it was crazy expensive to support coupon codes.
Well, but earlier today, when we discussed commuters to our events, it might involve something.
There might be a check mark box.
That would be a checkbox for different pricing.
Yeah.
I mean, we could
Have a free.
We could put a free one on there, and then, or, you
That's how
know,
I'm gonna register.
right? My thought is if there's a free option, that's what most people are gonna do. So we do have a free option on the reaffirmation form, and from what I can tell, a large number of people check the free, I'm unable to give it this time, option on that.
Yes, but those who are giving more. They used to give 75, now they're supporting at 115, so, yeah. Yeah, I'd like to encourage everybody to give something, but, sometimes you just can't give, so,
We've all been broke grad students, so.
yeah.
Preach.
Watto, so back middle of last year, I was getting some feedback that Watto was showing its age, which is fair because I hadn't touched it in about 10 years. And in a huff, I got frustrated and sat down and just rewrote the whole thing from scratch.
Oh, wow.
And
Seriously.
it took about, I think all told, I put about 200 hours into this rewrite, using brand new technology, like it's all cloud-based. So
Wow.
Google's hosting all of the data for us. What'd you say?
It doesn't work on sunny days.
It doesn't work on sunny days, yeah, it's all cloud-based. It works really well on cloud days though.
Yeah.
And the way I set it up, Google charges us about 2 cents a month for the service. So, which is fantastic.
That's a nice price.
It's a nice price. They've never actually sent us a bill because it's so little.
After a couple of years, it'll be like 59 cents.
Right, and it is capable of scaling up to, you know, if we were to run a Super Bowl ad and everybody hit it all at once, it would handle that. Now, we would start paying more for that, but at our load, it's almost nothing. So Watto is I think feature complete. All of the software side of things is there. What needs to be done now is data entry, which is my idea of hell. I don't do data entry, it drives me bonkers. But I was able to migrate all of the old data over, warts and all. So it's functional, and it works, but it's not up to date with the current big binder of everything. We need to put all of the pointed psalms in there. It has all of the psalms, but usually it's just the NRSV version. We can put the pointed ones in for canting. I know, who was I talking with? Sister Heather was talking about the hymns need to be updated and fixed. And then I put all of year A of the lectionary in, which is about 400 entries because of how Easter shifts around. and 4 entries, Old Testament, New Testament, Psalms, morning psalm, evening psalm, for every day. Is that right, or is it more than that? So that's 1,600 entries. We need year B and C done.
They are.
They're
In my report.
They're ready to put in, but they're not put in yet.
But the work is done. Up until a week ago, year C wasn't done, but year C is, so all 3 are now done. I'll make further.
So we're gonna need somebody who likes needlepoint or crochet repetitive tasks. It's not difficult work, it's just copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste 1,600 times a year. For your, 1,600 times for year B, 1,600 times for year C. No, I lied to you, it's 6 data points per, because each has a title. So you've got,
Right, yeah.
so you've got the title for the morning reading and the title for the evening reading. So 2,400 entries.
Is there a way to divide it up so that multiple people can do it piecemeal?
Absolutely, yeah.
Some of us are editors and have not edited a thing.
Yeah. Watto has, the new version has more fine-grained permissions so that you can be allowed access to edit the documents or not, to control media or not. So each item in Watto, you can record yourself reading whatever that is and upload it so that you can actually pray your way through with other people. Sister Annie has done this for quite a bit. And so if you turn on show media, you can just listen to Sister Annie reading the daily office along with you. So if you're interested in being an editor and adding the content that needs to be added or proofreading the content that's there, let me know, we'll get you added.
And this is going to be the primary concern of Dork on Thursday.
And it's volunteer man hours, it's what it needs. The software side of things is done.
Can you give us a tutorial on how to do it on Thursday? Are you here Thursday?
There is a tutorial, I can give you one, I'm happy to give you one, but there is one already online. There's a YouTube video.
Extrovert, need live people, sorry.
Yeah. So yes, there's training available, both in person, we'll record it, so different set of questions than last time, we'll get it all taken care of, but.
Where does it say show media?
That's what I was looking for.
Okay, so.
Mine is a little play button.
So what you need to do is you need to log in up in the corner, and you can use either your Facebook or your Google account. Once you're logged in, then you can go to settings and turn on show media.
I never knew why there was a login there.
It's because Brother Scott was tracking.
Yeah, I knew it.
Oh, see, I've always just used it the way it opens.
So you get extra things if you log in. There's a search option, so you can search for things.
Oh,
It's
excited
gonna make you an
now.
editor.
Yeah.
Did you find stuff, Kimberly?
I did. This is so exciting.
That's why you log in.
You log in because you get all of the features. So the free version, right, is you get to pray along, but with the when you log in, you get all kinds of other stuff. So log in. And one of the things, I think Brother Mark was confused by this, but those of us who are doom scrollers and addicted to dopamine, it can track how many consecutive days you pray.
It's true.
It seemed like really crass works righteousness,
Really?
actually.
The only reason I do Duolingo is to maintain my streak.
350
right there with
I
you.
do it every day.
That's right. 3 minutes, I've done it.
I don't know, I think Leslie would appreciate that sort of obsessiveness.
I have 3, I was like, I was
Wesley
thinking,
had
I
some
was like, I should be
problems,
doing my
too.
Duolingo
Totally.
right now.
We inherited them all.
I set the bar when I was writing it. I set the bar at 70 days, and then I stopped. So now you got to beat my 70-day score.
It's
Bring it
never
on.
gonna happen for me.
Bring it on.
I skip Sundays, so
So, yeah.
I can never.
We need a leaderboard.
It has a
It
leaderboard.
has a leaderboard.
Of
course, worse than
that. All right.
Publicly accepted.
Okay, so I'm not gonna log in.
Well, you have to be logged in. It's not public.
Where's Martin Luther when you need
Well, yeah,
him?
so, but, like, we can all access the board nights.
No, Mark, see, you're thinking about it all wrong. Think about it in terms of mutual accountability. This is good old-fashioned Wesleyan accountability. This isn't works righteousness.
Technological.
I think mostly an account.
Theology of water.
Tomato, distinction without a difference.
I just have to pull your chain.
Yeah, any other questions on Watto or what we need to do there?
I think it's
Just
I think
to
all
make
things
sure
are
people
separate.
understand, once we get the data created, it can't be automatically loaded in. We have to get volunteers and it gets manually entered into the system.
Right, you have,
Getting the list done first is step one, it's not getting it online.
yeah, so the lists are done.
Okay.
The next step is 4,800 copy and pastes. Somebody needs to copy and paste 4,800 times. It does not need to all be the same person. And that's just for the lectionary and the Psalms. And then all of the other assorted prayers throughout the cycle need to be made sure that they're in there correctly as well.
And hymns need to be fixed.
And hymns need to be fixed.
Did any of
You
you
can
catch
show
the
me how it works.
concluding collect in midday prayer? It was the one for Nome, for the afternoon, the shadow of the cross. So, little things like that. There will be Compline, for example, doesn't have, the first part of Compline starts in the middle. So, we're gonna try to, what I plan to do on Thursday is to look very carefully at the diurnals and then talk about Compline and Vigil and how we can deal with those, because there's set kinds of things, and then how do we process through it? And we'll try to work through a couple of days just to identify the things in the structure that are there. So, and further questions could come up at that point, but does the text itself have to be entered, or if the citation is there, will it go and get that?
For the lectionary, all you need to do is the citation. It will go fetch the text of the NRSV UE for you.
But it won't do that for the Psalter.
If you put in a psalm reference, it will go get the NRSV UE.
But will it get can it get a Lucan Psalter?
No, you have to copy and paste that in. You can do that over the top, yes, and make that happen.
That's a big job,
So
not
that's,
an important one.
that's 150 copy and paste for the Psalter, at least.
That's more. And that's 400 for each of the 3 years, whatever the number is for each of the 3 years. Because after Epiphany and after, you've got extra days for different years, so.
It's a lot of work. The easy part of programming, it's done. Now it's all down to the difficult part of copying and pasting.
My wife would also like to compliment the little ox you have in the corner. She thought it was adorable.
That's my wife. My wife's.
Oh,
art.
really?
Mhm.
I love the
It
sort
is
of,
nice.
I love the sort of
That was a spouse thing.
simplistic, updated version, yeah.
So the Watto stands for the winged and docile ox.
Oh.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
He has an
It's
awesome
Web
docile
Amplified Daily Office.
yeah, I was gonna pull that chain.
I changed what it stood for.
I like that.
I like the update.
Weird and daily orders,
Obstacles.
obstacles.
Now we see the game, where's Watto?
Any other questions any other questions for Brother Scott?
Just thank you so much.
Yes, copious gratitude.
It's
Thank you,
absolutely
thank you.
brilliant, it just is.
And all the code is in GitHub. It's linked at the bottom, so you can go read it to make sure I did everything correctly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Easy peasy.
I would like to say, having looked at our OSL site, that I loathe WordPress.
I loathe WordPress. WordPress is horrible.
I like Word.
And my sense, I don't know if you can tell from the statistics you get, my sense is that Watto is growing in usage.
Watto is growing in usage. We average about 10 people a day, 10 non-anonymous people a day using it. I can pull up 10 people who've logged in using it.
What do you
it.
mean?
Tend to identify.
We get so in the last 7 days, we've had 204 distinct people use the website. Of that, about half of the traffic was to Watto.
And we don't really advertise it very much.
It is not advertised at all.
And it's on the bottom of the website page. Yeah, I didn't even know it was under a tab until Sister Kimberly put it up there.
The Monday morning prayer group that I'm part of has transitioned from using the VCE to using Watto. We just all log on to Watto and do it together across the Zoom link. And I think people started being a little suspicious of that, sort of kind of liking our Episcopal prayer book. And I think it has been very well received.
I think once we get all of the content, or a reasonable, we've got a reasonable chunk. Once we get more of the content loaded in, things sorted out in it, I think it's a major asset, a major gift to the whole church.
Amen.
So.
Anything else? Again, thank you, Brother Scott.
Yes, thank you so much.
Which brings us down to report of OSL publications with Brother Daniel's name on it.
It's my checkout report.
Parting shot.
What page is it?
Page 15.
Page, yeah, 15. It's there in front of you. The only thing I would mention is I think that the John Wesley Prayer Book is still an outstanding project to be done. I know Brother Mark has his far vision on it, but that's one that we probably really need to do. And I wanted to list what I have been in custody, had in custody, the royalty arrangement letters I have, and the ISBN numbers I have, but I'm going to turn those over to the Chancellor. Until such time as there's somebody else that needs to have those.
Any other questions on publications? We've talked about some of this before. Yes, Sister Heather?
What books should the order put out? You know, is there a hole out there somewhere? Is there a need that needs to be filled? You know, we always operate from, I have this idea, okay, we're gonna make it work, but like if we were to operate backwards, what would you want to see written?
Well, my immediate answer that comes to mind is that we are a niche publisher for books that are already out there, that are valuable, that are no longer in print. And we do have some of those, like Max Johnson's baptism book. I don't know how many more of those we'll get, because I think publishers are not necessarily letting go of things so much now because they don't have to have inventory. So they can, like my book that Discipleship Resources put out in 1996 on the catechumenate is still available. I was hoping they were going to let it go sometime so we could publish it but I mean, I don't think the push to get rid of titles is as it used to be. But I think we do have the option of publishing some books. Beyond that, if you're talking about new materials, or new titles, I haven't thought about that a lot, so. I mean, it would, I think, for example, there's a whole series of the Library of Christian Spirituality, you know, those books. I could see thinking of Abbot Elizabeth's sermon yesterday. If there was a series of small books on different historical figures in Christian spirituality,
So we're not all reinventing the wheel.
Well-
Yeah, on the fly as you're speaking, yeah.
Are you talking about practicum kinds of things, or liturgical resources for use in the local church, like Michael J. O'Donnell's series of?
Oh, you mean it for the sacramentary, or?
Right.
Yeah,
Or are you thinking more theological treatises kind of thing? How practical do you think we need to be? I'm kind of asking because I'm wondering if, just as at the Lord's table is dated now, and Michael J. O'Donnell's is very much lectionary based, and it was fairly inclusive at its time, but maybe it needs to be updated or upgraded, or a new series needs to be put together with maybe some sensitivity to indigenous peoples or inclusive language, or, you know,
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
no,
I was gonna add, and also rites and rituals that weren't common, perhaps 20, 30, 40 years ago. I'm thinking in my congregation, we have some transgender individuals, and we do, a name change liturgy, or, that kind of thing is possible.
and that could be something that several people could contribute to. It doesn't have to be one person who takes that on. Well, and Michael and Timothy and others, they contributed to that, the development of that as well. Nancy, for example, added a lot too.
what was that?
Nancy Crowley. But again, those resources are dated in the mid-90s.
Right.
We're 30 years beyond that.
Yeah. Well, I think you're putting your finger on something that's really important. I mean, many of you were around when we had that burst of energy in the middle of the 80s or the early 80s with Michael O'Donnell and Timothy and others. We could use another Timothy in terms of that kind of burst of energy. I mean, Timothy was thinking all the time about what else can we publish? What else can we get? Well, who else can we unleash? And we could do that today.
Dwight lives in that corner but doesn't have the energy anymore.
My hunch is, for example, with Michael's work, Brother Michael's work, Brother Abbe Michael's work, he probably would not want to touch that with a 10-foot pole with his health and where he is in life.
Right.
But he might release that for somebody else who had a passion to do some work around that.
Sounds like a D-Min degree under Brother Mark.
What was that?
It could also be, we could also publish a resource on rites for baptism. Prayers of thanksgiving for baptism. The ones we have in the hymnal are good, and I've used them forever. Well, since they came out. But maybe there are better ones, and maybe there are different conditions under which baptism is offered and needs to be outlined, detailed.
I don't know any scholars who've done their work in baptism. Oh, wait. Maybe I did.
I think another thing we have embedded in our liturgical resources, magnificent prayers. And there is a possibility that you collectively could go through that and say, I think there's a need for a resource where somebody is just looking for a book of prayers. And they're not going to want to go through Watto day by day looking for what we have. So there's probably a selected prayer book that would come out of material we already have.
Can I suggest one more?
Sure.
When I was looking for liturgy for dissolving my marriage, there was nothing. And I feel like there's nothing for that. There's nothing for someone who's had an abortion. There's nothing for, I mean, we have an order for miscarriage, but it needs to be updated. I had actually thought about doing a demon on that. Just, I call them almost liturgies of shame, because they're things that most people are ashamed to talk about. But I think that could be a good resource.
That's a good one. Keep, hang on to that. I mean, don't let us forget about it, or start working on it and bring it forward.
So, Brother Abe, Daniel, what you were talking about originally, though, was kind of like what I might call an altar book, right?
Yeah, an altar book, sacramentary.
Right, yeah, I know, but I mean, you know, that you can open at the altar, and as I said earlier, so that your hands could be free.
Yes.
And you know, and we don't have that, haven't had it. It was published, Supplemental Worship Resources in '83 and in '87. The last one was published. I actually had mine rebound, my '87, right, to keep it together. But you know, a book like that. The only thing I would just say about all these services, which are all good and all things that are needed. The church has been thinking about this for a long time. Ritual in a New Day, which was part of the Supplemental Worship Resources series in 1976.
Mighty good year.
Actually, I think four rituals.
Best year for people who have been
for people who were divorced. They took
Right.
tons of criticism for it, but nevertheless, you know, they made the attempt of doing that. But I'm not sure now, you know, you look at what the Discipleship Ministries website has, I'm not sure the place to do that's in a book.
That's a good point.
I'm not sure that the place to do that isn't on a website now, which is, you know, maybe a curated website.
That doesn't make us money.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't make
Oh, but
sense.
you'll have to learn how to monetize it. You want this resource? Here's the first 3 items. You want the rest, you got to pay money.
Nobody does that, though. I mean, if you have to really ask if we're doing it to make money or if we're doing it to.
Well, but discipleship resources stuff usually comes from existing books, right?
I've got some stuff on there which is
Yes and no.
which is new.
I mean,
But I think,
for worship.
I think with a strong theologically deep preface that kind of explores the problem and the question, and you know, I think it could be a wonderful volume.
Well, I think that's something, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just, as we talk about practicality, I think we need a practical book on how to lead worship and do stuff. With what's happening in the United Methodist Church, with what's already happened in the PCUSA, with what's in the midst of happening in the Episcopal Church, we're not going to have MDiv clergy. We're going to have good-hearted people who want to do well but don't know how and are not going to plow through Jeffrey Wainwright. We've got to have a book on the pew level that says, this is how you celebrate the sacrament, and this is what you do with your hands, and this is why.
This is why it matters.
Yes.
That's the first problem.
This is why it matters that people don't get. Because then they're like, well, then it doesn't matter. Yeah. They pray like this.
But that language on the pew level also says that we need an educational piece for the average church attender.
Yes.
Who don't know why we do the table, who don't know why we have the font. Oh, it's just part of the ritual of the church. You know, it's very superficial how they know it. Oh, yeah, or people not wanting to do communion because it only reminds them of the death of Jesus and
It's too
sin and how
special.
bad
Don't do
we
it so
are.
often,
Well,
it's not
well, right,
special.
when I was.
Yeah, we do it so often, yeah, right.
The other year when I started my, the current church I'm at, doing weekly communion at least through Easter and Christmas tide, and I'm working on the rest of it. There was a lady in her mid-80s, like, do you think we're that bad, that we need it more than once a month?
Yeah.
And sincerely, like
Yeah.
worried that I thought she was that
Oh,
sinful.
yeah, I
that
was
she needed
asked
it
if we
twice.
were Catholic, because we did it 3 times after Easter.
That's a different question, though.
James Whiteside, you know, what Protestants believe about it. I died for you. Can't you do a little bit better? Is the theme of Eucharist.
I'm so delighted to be in a Lutheran church right now.
There you go.
You see, there's
Education.
so much need for education out there.
Go ahead,
And
Jonathan.
Yeah, could I chime in here? One is to echo something Brother French said on the chat for the Zoom meeting, which is that he had created a Eucharistic prayer series based on Brother Michael's idea for every Sunday of the Christian year. So that's in existence, and I'll let him speak more about that. But I have to leave very shortly to go teach, actually. So I want to affirm what Brother Mark said about the place for such new resources is probably, in my mind, not in a book if we're going to compile like a series of prayers and other liturgical things, because people they're not going to go there when they can go online to, like textweek.com or one of the many resources like that, or even the Vanderbilt lectionary site, and find prayers for free that are very well crafted. But two, is I think y'all are really onto something with the idea of having a book that's kind of a how-to guide, either for ordained clergy or for other pastoral leaders who are trying to just do this thing to the best of their ability. And I've long thought that there could be a good collaborative effort between the publication side, where we're producing books for people to have as a resource, and the retreat, whereby we might offer people a chance to come and kind of a more or less glorified workshop on presiding, because what we do, a glorious marriage, is something that's extremely well executed, but also very kind of open and welcoming and unassuming.
Right.
And I think that could be we could provide a model for people. So perhaps offering both practical skills building workshops and books to go with that could be a long-term kind of stream of publications.
Thank you.
Thank you.
French, did you want to
Sure. I can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Back in the early 2000s, I mean, it would be somewhat out of date now. I used Brother Abbot Michael's idea and created the entire lectionary series of Eucharistic prayers for every Sunday, and the possibility of other special occasions. And I have been using that for years. And whenever one of the members of the order asked me for it, I would send it to them. And I don't know whether it would work in our current climate or not, but I've got it if anybody would like it. The only unfortunate thing, as far as I can see, is that I did it entirely in WordPerfect, and I don't know how to do it in any other format.
You kids today with your manual transmissions and power windows. If you want it on a website or something like that, or in a PDF format, send it to me. We'll convert it. It's easy peasy.
Convert it.
Well, I think it's basically what I did is I created a merge file in the Eucharistic prayer, into which I merged scriptural references at several locations. And so the prayer is essentially the same, but with those things added. And being a good United Methodist, I also created a version of the prayer to use for non-Eucharistic occasions.
Of course.
Now, you all have heard me use this, because when I have presided at Eucharist at the order, at retreat, I have used those, except in the last 2 years, or 2 times, when I was basically instructed not to.
Well,
Celia, you need.
I'm a
Well,
very
because-
mean chaplain general, Brother French, I'm sorry.
Well, because they take the place of
I'm not gonna
the 4 services that we have in the Book of Offices and Services.
That takes precedence.
That mine are based on the ecumenical service, more or less from the Book of Common Prayer.
So, couple of thoughts here. One is Watto is already a searchable database of prayers. There are prayers in there that are not linked to any of the offices. Brother Mark's recent prayer that was published on Discipleship Resources is in there, and things like that. It would be a great place to just store the content, and then we can present it in whatever form, whether that's as a daily office or as a supplemental collection of prayers on chain or whatever. So we've got that database structure in there, and then this is something that can either be under the umbrella of publications, or it can be under the website, where we have resources like this that we're not going to sell, but we can have as an archive for people to draw from, available. They can Google it, they can use our search engine, whatever, and find what they need. We have this framework already in place. It's just a matter of filling it in.
Several of us wrote anti-racism prayers, which we put into an issue of Sacramental Life. But those are prayers that could also migrate to Watto or to whatever storage space you've got for that. Because I'd like to see those are accessible.
Saying is, like, for example, whatever we write in prayers and so forth, we use just ship it off to you, and that way it could be, we could have sort of a buffet of people, and people can pull out what they want, what they need. I've done some Ukraine prayers, so to adapt it to the situation somehow. Okay.
I think it would be helpful to put some key words with that so that you could have it be more searchable by theme or subject or.
It's already there.
Thank you.
Framework is there.
I hate to be the contrarian, but it's just what I do. Sometimes I do wonder, and this also has to do with some of the stuff that's available online that you can search. I tell students when they're doing project work for me, that you have to cite whatever you use, and you're responsible for the quality of it.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if we're going to post it, any of this stuff in terms of the order, are we going to have a vetting process for it? An editing process for it? I think it would be wise. I think it would be a very wise idea. If for no other reason, then I don't think there's any, I don't think any prayer should be put in the mouths of an assembly that's never been seen by more than one person.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a key thing, and also there's almost no piece of writing on the planet that can't be improved by several drafts. Most first efforts on most prayers, would be vastly improved by cutting the words by 25%. Just all that stuff. I just think there needs to be some kind of vetting process for anything we would post in terms of the name of the order.
That's what an editor's job is.
To build on that,
well,
I think that's one of the ways that the order could engage with one another and test those out. If you're having an online service or a face-to-face meeting, use those prayers. Brother Brett wrote some things for a project that Dick Hesslinger and I are working on. called Extending the Table. And for the church that is receiving the elements from what we're calling the hub church, Brother Brett wrote some portions for what would be done at the communion. There's no great Thanksgiving. But we tested that out in our Virginia, well, not our Virginia chapter, our Mid-Atlantic chapter. But that was both fun and it really made us think theologically and pastorally about what we're doing here. So I'm affirming that, and I think that's something we could do with one another. There's one other thing I think of in terms of, for example, Eucharistic prayers, if we had an altar book or something. Are we going to do this with a kind of narrow band, United Methodist, Euchology? Or are we going to think about something that would be more useful by Lutherans and United Methodists and possibly Episcopal Church is getting ready to do revisions on the prayer book? Maybe they could make some,
Believe it when you see it.
Could we think more broadly and ecumenically in what we produce?
If it was good enough for Cranmer, it's good enough for me.
That's what they did at Westminster Abbey the other day.
Yeah, that was fun to watch.
Yeah, look.
I would, from an obvious standpoint, I would encourage us to always look to the broader church.
Yeah.
As much because, anybody else here work for the Presbyterians? Is it me?
Brother Jonathan,
Hi, Jonathan.
I don't think he sees that, but.
I have never experienced such dry, blah, meaningless, void of anything, liturgy
Maybe
and
what we got.
life.
Frozen chosen.
I was gonna say, why do you think they call them the frozen chosen?
And an entire army of clergy that have no idea what an anaphora is or what order it ought to go in.
Yeah.
They just tag crap together. And it's not just one, it's all of them. And they need some help.
Boris tried, he really did.
Yeah.
Well, and they have the Book of Common Worship, which is a beautiful,
Yes.
a wonderful book, but they don't use it,
that?
yeah.
What's with that?
There were some exceptions. David Batchelder's brilliant.
What's that?
I said there are some exceptions. David Batchelder's
Oh,
absolutely
yes.
brilliant in his stuff. Yeah, there are a few.
Well, there's lots of fodder there.
Yes.
Helpful conversation. Thank you for triggering.
Did you get all that, Sister Jean?
I've got the gist of it all, yeah.
A lively discussion ensued?
Yes, I like it. I put some of the details in there because I think it's important.
Yeah.
So we can follow up on them. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd like us to produce some resources for
Yeah.
the next 20 years, not for the last 20.
Going to reaffirm all of this for as somebody who is about to teach worship in proclamation and licensing school, local pastor licensing school. For folks I know who are going to churches without large or any ARP, I would love more free resources to recommend.
What's
ARP, Accounts Reimbursable Plan. Sorry.
I think AARP.
Yes, for the aged among us.
I speak that language.
Is Brother French still on?
Yes, he is.
Yes, I am.
Brother French, the next item on the agenda is Constitution and Bylaws. Brother French Ball.
Okay. Does everybody have a copy? But it's not online.
It's not part of the book of reports.
You know, I sent it in to Sister Abbott and to Brother Pryor, and hope that you would have them printed out for the assembled multitude.
Well, I missed that memo.
If you
Brother
don't
French.
have,
Wait a minute.
yes,
I don't recall getting something specific from you other than what our discussion was via Zoom and a follow-up Zoom with Brother Taylor. And
Well, I
give us a
was
minute to
on
try and
a-
recover something.
Actually.
I was on a Zoom with Sister Abbott and Brother Taylor, after which I completed a finalized version of what we were going to present.
I don't recall receiving that to publish. Huh?
Brother.
Brother Martin.
I don't know how to screen share.
Take a minute, maybe
No,
I should.
And we can't see the
I've
screen
got,
shares
it
anyhow.
may just have gone out.
Yeah, we can't project in here.
So here I've got Sister Abbott, may I?
Yes.
Yeah, so I just, this is proposed modifications to bylaws. The following modifications to the bylaws in the order of St. Luke is recommended by the Abbot and elected officers for adoption at the May 23 General Council meeting. These changes offer a process for reactivating lapsed members and a process for terminating membership, which must involve all elected officers under board and conditions. That's what we're talking about, correct?
Wait.
We have to only have one conversation here because we're trying to get everybody to hear this.
I've got the document here that was.
I can't get on my computer at this point, so can you read the document?
I can, so it wouldn't help for me to send it to everybody, that's what we're saying.
Yeah, we're having too much trouble getting anything to connect.
I believe, and Brother French, I believe this is it. So, let me just read it as well as I can.
Well, hold on a second, get mine up, because I've got it online here in my, now, the title of the document that I have here is Bylaws of the Order of St. Luke, Proposed Amendments, May 2023.
It's not what mine says.
If it says anything other than that, it was an earlier version. However,
can you read what you have to us, French? I cannot get my computer up.
Yeah, I can read it off. Talk about why it's the way it is. All right.
French, can you move your camera over so when you're reading your computer, your microphone's close to your face?
I don't think you'd be able to see it.
No, when you're reading from your computer, your mouth is so far away from your mic, we can't hear you.
Oh, okay. I'll see if I can get my iPad closer to my computer. How about that?
That's better.
Okay.
This is the.
Okay. If you've got a copy of the bylaws in front of you, which I hope you do.
Yeah, we'll go online.
Yeah.
Okay, then look for section 3 of the bylaws.
Okay.
Once you're in section 3, keep scrolling down. And somewhere in about the third paragraph down in section 3, it begins like this. Members of the order continue their membership through annual profession of vows. The annual reaffirmation of the rule of life and service is indicated through a written, now, that's just where I want you to find that. If you can find it, then the changes begin in the next paragraph.
Brother French, most of us cannot find it because our computers are down. So
okay, well, I don't know what to tell you other than if you.
I have it up on my screen if you want to come around.
Brother Mark is trying to say something here.
I'm just going to make a suggestion because the confusion is frustrating and that's not good for making good decisions. I'm wondering if we can overnight figure this out and get the right document that we need delivered to us by tomorrow morning, in our session tomorrow morning, and maybe actually print it out if we have to.
To whom should I email it?
You can email it to me, Brother French.
Okay.
That's counting on the fact that we will be able to receive
Surely sometime between now and tomorrow you can receive it. And then,
I would certainly hope so. I don't know what's causing the problem we're having today, so I don't know if it will be solved tonight.
Brother French, CC me, I've been getting some things, so maybe I'll get it quicker, who knows?
Mine's coming through too at the moment. So.
okay, well, I'll send it to several of you. And basically, probably the easiest thing to do would be to see if you could print it, and to see it in context. You might need to. I might suggest printing out the entire thing, even though there's only changes on one page.
I'm out of ink.
All the changes.
Access to print is difficult too right now.
All right.
Smoke signals.
This is 1984.
Okay, so I live here, I have a printer at home. And I'm going home, so if you want me to take it, and I don't know if they have a copier here, but if Sister Kimberly.
French, can you fax it in and I'll take it to Kinko's?
I have absolutely no way to fax it.
Wait, I have a mimeograph in my car. And we
I
can
love those. Look at the drum, they smell so good.
They do.
Okay. What I will. Brother Scott, if you could teach me how to share a screen, I could do it that way.
But we don't have a the projector isn't working yet here, so.
No, but I mean, it could come up on everybody's computer.
No, it won't.
We're not all on Zoom.
We're not Zooming with you.
I'm the only one Zooming here.
Okay.
You are Zooming with Brother Scott, and we're all listening in.
We're just listening, we can't see you.
Okay, you can't. All right. Then I'm out of suggestions. I can email it to a bunch of you and see what you can do with it.
Yeah.
Do a mimeograph of it, tie it to your carrier pigeon and send it over.
Yeah, I'll do that.
If you can send it
To Sister
to
Kimberly.
Sister Kimberly Freeway, she will.
She's typing in her address to him.
I'm sure, if you can print it, do you have access to a
She's
copy machine?
put it in the
At
comments.
your work, at the church?
Right.
She is going to go home and get it from home.
But yeah, I'll make
We'll put it on the agenda tomorrow morning. Or
We
tomorrow.
can share it around.
Okay.
You can be with us some tomorrow?
Oh yes, I'm planning to be with you tomorrow. In fact, I have to leave pretty soon here because I've got stuff that I have to get done. But I will get this document, which I have saved in multiple formats. So you can,
Just one is good.
no, not everybody can get a WordPerfect file. So I've saved it as a .doc file and PDF. What's so funny?
You get it to us, we'll figure out how to distribute it.
I'm trying to stay away.
Okay. Well, so are we decided that I will
Yes.
send this document to several of you, and hopefully something will happen.
Correct.
Get it to Kimberly.
All right. Well, yeah, and
He made.
several.
I typed my email in the chat, so if you can look at the chat, just send it to that email and I'll get it printed.
She's going home. but she
Okay.
has to do that.
Oh, okay.
She's gone,
Well,
she's going to the train, because she's gonna dress up like she's.
let me get your email down from the chat.
I can't get on anywhere.
You know, we're religious. We do things with quills and pens.
Well, my problem is that after I created this document, I sent it out.
I swear.
You really do.
You know, I have the fancy.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating to me that the people that I sent it to didn't get it.
I received a copy of it, Brother French. I did not know I was supposed to send it on to somebody else. We will deal with it tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I'll get it sent out.
All right.
Thank you.
Mm-mm. All right.
See you later. Talk to you later. Oh.
We're all going to hell, you know.
Because of this, or this is the journey?
This is the one-way ticket.
He's like, some of you are hangry, you need to eat.
In a minute, it will say, we all laughed and made fun of Brother Phil.
No, he won't, he won't.
I hope he's not on.
Just the whole situation is so crazy.
We would have done it if we were in the room.
We love you, Brother French, it's technology we hate.
Yeah.
We just need good Wi-Fi. There you go.
Well, no, we've also been doing this since like 9.
Yeah.
We need a little hokey pokey or something. Wait until the bottom.
There was a delay once at our annual conference, the bishop asked me to lead head, shoulders, and
I'll check in with you
I
tomorrow.
am you.
Sorry, we can't hear you.
I said, if y'all have had your fun now, I'll check in with you again tomorrow.
All right,
Okay.
thank
I
you.
suppose.
We love you dearly, Brother
We
French.
love you, and we would have said the same things if you were here.
Wait, no, 3 minutes.
That we couldn't use.
And then we couldn't do any of them right now.
I can't do any of them.
Are we ready to move on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But he's muted? No, he's
He's
not.
gone.
He's not muted.
You want me to mute the audio for the recording? For the next moment?
No, not particularly.
Okay.
I want to give you some background information on this, which is where I thought he was going to start, which I think is more important than the wording of what's being offered here. Yeah, here's the recording. Project. I think we have few enough reports left that I'm very confident that we can start up tomorrow morning and be comfortably done in the time that we have remaining. And
Yeah, that's not comfortably done.
I don't know that we have any reason to try to pull anything up in terms of timing now. The service is scheduled to start at 4.
You could start earlier, should you desire. You two who are in charge of the service.
Well.
That gives you more baseball time.
Well, I know, I was thinking that very thing, it's very kind of you. 3:45?
We could do
3:45.
3:45.
And then that gives us a break and,
3:45?
what do you think?
And
I'm ready.
that gives you a little more comfort in
Yes,
terms
thank you,
of
that's right.
doing that. So I would suggest we stand adjourned and gather in the chapel at 3:45. Yes, Brother Dwight.
Because this will probably be the last time prior to Compline tonight that we will be together. So let me say a couple of things about how we will observe that. You will need only the red book.
Okay.
Only the red book. It will be unaccompanied, since I ended up being both the, yes. Well,
I think Sherilyn has a puppy or something.
okay. I
think the owl
I
was
thought it was,
about to
I thought it was coming from over there somewhere, but I wasn't sure who it was. So accompany, so we'll do it a cappella, so we're going to do it a cappella, and the spirit will be quiet. We will sing quietly, we will speak quietly, we will have silence. We'll be seated in a circle around the evening candle.
If you will remain shortly after we finish this service, and I will set that up for you.
Okay.
You can just direct me.
Let's do that right after the Eucharist.
I'll be your moving mule.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I say one other thing?
Yes.
I've said a whole lot, So someone remarked to me that I was channeling Brother Guy when I brought the candy around. I realized that. I've heard via my mother that Brother Guy had a heart attack about a month ago. I don't know if any of us know that. I don't know if I know that. And he sent down a level of detail. Might be worth looking into. Had I had another day in Chambersburg, I think I would have tried to pursue that a little bit. But I didn't have any today. So
This leads me to my
Take
personal
him
care
our
report of
Yeah.
never knowing about anyone.
This is, yeah. It's just a secondhand report, but I thought
Try to
everybody
be in touch
would
with
it's
him
not
by
true.
email.
What's that?
Can somebody try and be in touch with him by email?
I think Sister Diane picked up on this as our,
Check.
It's on my list of people to check on now.
Okay. Okay.
We can all remember Brother Guy bringing the light in to light the candles in his bare feet.
And doing,
Yes.
well, the word hallelujah.
Yes.
So many.
I have memories of people coming in different ways. I can remember here, when Sister Ann was trying to get us all lined up for the processional. And she's going around, okay, where's the guy with Jesus on the stick?
I think I was here for that one.
Who's got the swingy thingy?
Yeah.
Where's the
Swingy
flingy dude?
dingy, swingy thing.
I think Jesus on the stick offends some people.
Oh, yes,
It's pretty
Sounds
funny
like something
though.
from the fairgrounds.
Jose, Christe,
Mystique. What do we need for worship this afternoon? Just the red book?
You need your order and.
For the order of
red book
service, the
and
worship book?
Psalter?
Yes.
All of those things?
I don't have that.
I think the music is in the red book too, unless you have it all.
There was one hymn that's in the.
But we also need the Psalter?
Yes.
We need your stuff.
Do we? I'll bring my stuff.
This is Luke and Psalter,
Just
Psalm
looking at-
19.
Don't forget to fill these out for me, please, so I can take care of everything that needs to be taken care of.
Oh, it's the pirate Eucharist.
Thank you.
How soon,
Huh?
how soon do you need it? Can I get it to you tomorrow
I think we're
morning?
gonna have to call that the Brother French pirate Eucharist.
Lord
Psalm
be with
reading,
thee.
psalm reading, so it won't be.
Lord.
Lord.
The Lord.
One Duncan for the forgiveness of
You know,
sins.
Mark Schweitzer died.
I
know. Oh,